Welcome to the VSBN podcast. I'm Glaucia from RenovAction, and today we have two very special guests. First, we have William, my husband and business partner in our custom joinery business. And joining us as well is the wonderful Sharon from Sharon Lynch Interior Design. In this episode, we will be talking about renovations, the collaboration between interior designers and cabinet makers, and how we bring spaces to life. We will also touch on commercial projects and share practical tips for anyone planning a build or reno. Sharon, let's start with you. Could you please introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about what you do and the kind of projects you usually work on?
Yes, so my name is Sharon Lynch and my business is Sharon Lynch Interior Design, and I actually specialise in both boutique residential renovations as well as commercial projects, so office fit outs and things like that. Mm-hmm. And obviously I like to make it practical, clever and classy is my catch cry.
I love that.
For obvious reasons. So basically whole home renovations, or it can be kitchen, bathroom, it can be cabinetry for studies, lounge rooms, anything like that. And office fit outs are generally just smaller office fit outs, 20 to 50 employees generally.
Mm-hmm. Okay, amazing. William, your turn now. Could you please tell us a little bit about RenovAction, what we do, how we got started, and the type of work we specialize in?
My name is William. I'm a designer, cabinet maker, and director of RenovAction. We are specialized in cabinets, so pretty much like kitchens, laundries, bathroom, anything for a home. That's what we do.
Pretty much residential joinery. Alrighty, so now that we've done the introductions, let's jump into some questions, things that we come across in our work, conversations we often have with clients, and a few behind-the-scene insights as well. Hopefully it gives listeners a better idea of how we work and what really goes into a well-designed space. Let's start with a few questions about the renovation process and some advice for anyone planning a project. How early in the process should a cabinet maker or interior designer get involved?
For me, we like to try and get the cabinet maker in as early as possible. So for me, we start at concept design. I feel like that really aligns the design intent and also just makes sure that the construction is right the first time without having to then go and rework later on.
Yeah, and that's normally a mistake that we always see out there. We always have conversations about it. Like, comes to us first, comes to Sharon, comes to the cabinet makers before you even start working with your builder.
Ideally go to the interior designer first and then come to us.
So basically, as you guys know, I help them design it. So if they, have particular requirements about where they want the bin, where they want their fridge, whether it's integrated, the dishwasher if it's integrated, storage, different storage options that they have.
Yep.
Sometimes they actually don't know what's available. So I would run through what's available.
Exactly.
And then at least I can do a plan, which I then give to you guys.
Yes, especially when there are structural changes involved. It's better that we come first. When I say we, the interior designer and the cabinet makers, because if there are any structural changes that need to be made after we do the design, then we still have time.
Yeah, actually, that's one thing I wanted to mention. Quite often in my designs, I like to do the LED lighting underneath the top wall cabinets. And that's fine. You can retrofit it and just literally stick it onto the cabinet. But what I like to do is to actually recess it at the back of the cabinetry.
Yes, looks better.
And most people probably don't realise is that we need that in the drawings for you guys from the start.
Yes.
So, yes, you can retrofit, but it doesn't look as nice because you can see it and whatever. So it's just a nicer light if it's recessed in the back of the cabinetry, which is what you guys need to know about.
Exactly. Yeah. Okay, so how do you work with other trades or professionals during a renovation?
So normally we are in touch with the builder. So if we have like questions or anything that is going to interfere with our cabinetry, then we speak to the builder. Or if the client is project managing, then we ask them to look at our drawings and make sure they pass it on the information to the electrician, to the plumber, and whoever's going to be working on the project to make sure they follow what is on the drawing.
And then again, that's the importance of having us first. So we know where the power points will be depending on the location of the fridge or the appliances, so they can get the electrician or the plumber to do their jobs.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And a lot of the times in my drawings, I show them where the comms are. So it'll show you exactly where the power point is. So the electricians can literally come in and just put it where it shows on the drawings.
Yes, correct.
Yes. What's one budget-friendly change that makes a big impact in a home?
I actually like working with lighting. That's one of my favourite elements to deal with because I think it makes a huge difference. So obviously you've got natural lighting, task lighting. So basically, obviously, natural lighting is what's coming through your windows and stuff like that. Your task lighting would be if you need to chop something on your bench, so you need an overhead light to do that. But there's also mood lighting, which I think is important. And I was talking about the one that you put, the LED lighting under the cabinetry because it gives a soft glow, and that's something that you could leave on when visitors are over, and it just makes your kitchen look beautiful without having to go to too much trouble. Not that you can like I said, you can retrofit that, but I think lighting can be a huge thing. You can put in some beautiful wall sconces or pendant lights, which make a huge difference to that space.
Yeah,
and it's a fairly low cost, depending obviously on where you go. It's a really easy, lower cost than even painting your whole house, because a lot of people tend to go to paint first, but lighting might be a cheaper option.
True.
Yeah, I think for me it would be pretty much the same topic as we spoke before. Like if you go and speak to a designer and get focused on the design first, you end up saving money because the amount of problems you find if you don't have a proper drawing on a project, then you have to retrofit or have to redo something. That's when the problem starts. So for me, this would be something that would save you money.
Any retrofitting anything is more expensive. So get it done right at the start.
At the start, yes, absolutely. Do you think clients sometimes focus too much on price and not enough on value or quality?
Not too much. Like we've been having clients that, are after something with good quality. So, but there's obviously people out there who, have a tight budget, and with that in mind, obviously they need to do a bit more research and try to do something that sometimes they may not be able to do what they want, but
there are always alternatives as well.
Yeah.
So,
and I think, again, that's why an interior designer can help, because quite often people don't know what's out there. For example, they might love this beautiful marble, but it's not cost effective for them. So I can show them what other options that might be available to them that are better choices, even from a lifestyle perspective, but also from a budget point of view.
Yes.
So, it's just advising them what's out there and what's possible to still get the same look, but it be cost effective. So,
absolutely.
And quality can sometimes be just as good, so or better, depending on the lifestyle and what you're actually trying to achieve.
Yes.
Yeah. Getting a professional end up being like the best option, because like one example, like we're just doing a door for walking road, and this door could be made out of normal hinges from Bloom, which costs us like $7, and the same door can also be made out of architectural hardware, which costs $250 each hinge. So if the client wants to have a budget, then if they're going through by themselves trying to decide everything,
no, it's too much.
Then you end up spending more than you can think of. So it's very important to get a professional to understand what is the availability out there.
Yeah, I mean, I like people to focus. They need to focus on particular things that they want to spend their money on. If you've got a budget, you can't obviously blow the budget on everything. And hinges are a surprising one because you obviously need a hinge for a door, and if you're going the 250, then your budget's going to be blown pretty quickly. So there's some really nice options to not have to go to that expense.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, and again, it's just knowing what's out there, and they don't know what's out there. So it's good to get professional advice as to what your options are. So spend the money on the door handle, not the hinges, for example.
Yeah.
All right, so now let's talk about materials, design, and functionality. What's the first thing you notice when you walk into someone's home?
For me, it's about how it looks and how the space flows. I'm a very practical person, and for me, it has to make sense. So if things are in the way or, you know, things don't look right, then it doesn't feel right. Maybe not everyone's different, but it just needs to be cohesive, I think, from every room, and it needs to feel balanced, in my opinion. So some people, I think, try too hard sometimes and try too much, and then can potentially go wrong.
Yes. I think that when I go to clients' home to do the first consultation, and one thing that I normally look around is the style of the house, because then we have to bring that in. If they're not renovating the whole home, we have to bring that in to the room that we are renovating. And then more than just noticing myself is to have a proper conversation with the client and understand their needs as well, and how they live, because each family is different. How do you manage Pinterest board overload when clients bring in heaps of ideas? I think I will answer this one because I get a lot of crazy huge Pinterest mood boards. What I try to do with my clients is asking them to, from each picture, tell me what you like. Because when you get a picture from Pinterest or from Google, you probably don't like every single aspect of the picture. Maybe you like the handle, maybe you like the color of the wall, maybe you like the color of the cabinetry, the bench top. So try to, when you see a picture, try to put it, I don't know, in a PowerPoint file or something. Just organize it in a way that you point out the elements that you like from that picture. It helps as well.
Yeah, I quite often tell clients, I'm not sure if you know, but on Pinterest, you can actually, when you pin something, you can make a note.
Oh,
so when you actually, so when you do a pin, you can actually put a note in there saying, I like this image because of whatever.
That's a good tip.
Yeah. And you can also organise your pins, because I love Pinterest too. You can organise, for example, if you are doing a kitchen, you can have different folders. So you can actually say cabinetry, sinks, taps. You can actually put them into different sections. So that's a little tip as well.
Amazing. Good tip.
That's great. Yeah. I'm not very, very into Pinterest. I just see the clients when they send me. So, yeah.
But it's true. I had for example, I had a client who sent me this whole Pinterest. It was a video, and all it said was, love this.
Oh.
So, of course, I thought it was the colour scheme. It was how it looked, blah, blah, blah. When I actually had a meeting with her, she liked the fireplace.
Oh.
So it had nothing to do with the whole video. It was just the fireplace. I said to her, you need to be a little bit more specific about what it is you like in those.
Oh, that's interesting. What does your design process look like from start to finish, and how involved should the homeowner be in the design process?
Well, I always start with a design consult, and with that, I give them a questionnaire which has a million questions.
They're important.
Yeah, they are important, and I do ask them to spend some time answering the questions. Quite often, obviously, if it's a residential home, it's a husband and wife, and often they haven't had the conversation before I get there. That's how I start, really, with that whole big questionnaire, and then going through it when I actually go on site. I obviously talk about how they live, what's important to them, why they're making the changes, because obviously they're making a change for a reason. So I try and get them to remember what they're trying to achieve as the end result, and then try and keep that in mind as we're going through.
Yes.
If it's a particular style that they're after, we then start choosing things that don't align with that style, then I can at least bring them back and say, well, hang on a minute, this is where we're going. Is that way? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that then informs finishes, fixtures, furniture, everything.
Everything,
So mood boards obviously are important. But anyway, I do concept, then we do documentation, which is when you guys, obviously, I get it correct to pass on to trades, whether that be electricians, plumbers, cabinet makers. And then I do sourcing of all the products that they might want, so the taps, the hinges, the door handles, whatever that they might be looking for. And then really at the end I try and do what I call design management. So I'm not the project manager. I make that clear that the builder is the project manager and everything stops with the builder, but I make sure that the design that I have worked with them on is what the builder is actually building, because sometimes that can get a little bit missed in translation or communication, and I'm there if they need me to make sure that the design that we have worked on so hard to do is actually what's being done.
Okay. Yeah. I think we're very similar.
Well, yeah, so it's similar in a way because we're not a interior design firm.
More like focus on the cabinet.
Yeah, so obviously when a person, they have a tight budget and they think they want to save money and they come direct to us, then obviously I try to help, just giving them some advice as well, because I obviously have knowledge and can sort of help them out, but I'm not going to go through all of that.
Yeah,
obviously,
there's a lot.
Because that's not part of what we do. So when they come to us, what I first try to understand is budget, because I can't offer anything, I can't do anything without understanding cost. We have a huge amount of materials and hardware that can be used, and if the person doesn't want to share the budget, so for me it's like there's no point to discuss it, because what can I do?
That's an awkward conversation that we need to have with the client. The client doesn't understand. It's not that they're going to tell us, I want to spend 30,000. You're going to give a quote for 30,000. That's just because of how many options, and that's the same. Probably that's the same for you. How many options?
Yeah, it's the same as like I use cars as an example.
Yeah,
so
of course.
If you walk in, Toyota dealership, then you can get a basic, sort of
basic
car
model,
or you can go top of the range, the best car they have. So it's the same thing. So we obviously try to understand, a little bit from them as well, in order to give them the right price. But it's something that ideally the client should come with it already.
Yeah, look, I find sometimes clients are very secretive about their budget,
they are.
Because if they tell me they've got $30,000 to spend, they think I'm going to spend it all.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's not what we're trying to achieve. If they tell us that their budget is 30 but they've actually got 40 or 50, well, that's whatever. But if they're trying to find particular products and finishes that they love and they've got an extra $20,000, then we can't help them choose exactly what they want if we don't know what we're looking at.
Yes.
Yeah.
We're not trying to spend it all at all.
No.
Yeah.
We are absolutely trying to honour what their budget is, and we can't do that if we don't know what it is.
Yes.
Yeah. Being transparent is the only way to go in this
Absolutely.
field, because if you're not transparent, then it's really, you make the job really hard.
And that's when things go wrong.
Yeah, and that's when
they
things
get
go
something
wrong.
that they don't love
That's
because
Yeah.
we found a cheaper option.
And sometimes, like we know that we can offer something a little bit better for not much of a difference. And then because they're trying to cut the cost at all costs, then you end up not offering the right thing, you know what I mean?
That's right.
So, yeah.
How do you help clients choose materials and finishes, especially when they're feeling overwhelmed?
Well, like I said, first thing is to understand the budget. Like I can't show you veneer if your budget is for melamine, is for like laminate board, you know what I mean? So this is the first thing that I would ask, is like, if you know how much you want to invest in your project, then based on that I can, refer the right product. Obviously I can go through all of them, but then again, that makes you even more overwhelmed.
People don't realize how many
products are out
products
there.
and brands
if you
and colors
explain
and
everything,
finishes.
because some people just say, well, can you send me the price for both of all of this? You know, like give me the price in 2-pack, in veneer, in real
Melamine,
timber,
and
and
you-
in melamine.
different finishes.
Well, that's not, you know what I mean? Like you're going to get even more overwhelmed.
Yeah.
So you need to understand what do you want to achieve, like you mentioned before. If you want to achieve, you know, like a budget-friendly project with something that, some details that will look great, maybe we can offer you this and that. So it's just being transparent again.
Yep.
So that's the best way we can understand each other.
Yeah.
And offer you the right thing, so you don't get overwhelmed with the amount of things that are there.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
and don't look to Pinterest too often, like
Too much.
because like I've had clients who, like, they would be looking at Pinterest every day, and then they would come back to me and say, "Oh, I want something like this," and then the other day it would be something like that and like that, and it just kept going.
Yeah.
So this would make you overwhelmed.
Absolutely. I know that when I deal with clients, and especially that overwhelm, I literally give them 3 options. So, for example, if they said to me they like a green tile, I will go and find them 3 different green tiles. They've obviously told me what kind of green, what kind of colour,
Yep.
even maybe what size and whatever. So that's where I will go and find those 3 tiles and bring them back to them. And generally it would be different price points, so that, or if they've given me a price point and I know what they're looking for, then I can show them 3 different tiles in that price point. So if they want to go to those 3 different places that I can suggest, they can, and they can see what they'll get for the different price points. Or I just give them the 3 and they just make a choice.
Yeah.
So that might just be for the tiles, but I do also do that for the floorboards,
yeah.
for the taps, for
Blinds
the
and
sinks,
carpets,
the blinds,
yeah.
the carpet, the everything, so that they literally have 3 choices of everything. If they even only want 2 or 1, some clients just want me to pick everything.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
And then, you know, sometimes I might have 2 of everything. So that gives them obviously a great choice to not have to go and spend a lot of their weekends. A lot of their weekends might be going to different places to try and pick stuff.
Can be quite frustrating. Yeah.
I mean, I know sometimes I can go into a tile, not really, but when I go into a tile showroom, some people get really overwhelmed. I get excited, but some people get overwhelmed. But that's the whole point of going to someone who knows what they're looking for, because I know
Yeah.
I've narrowed down what they want.
Yeah.
So I'm not looking at everything. I'm
Yeah.
looking at
Yeah.
what they want specifically.
That's right.
And I bring
That's
it
the
to
same
them.
when the clients come and say, "Oh, you know, like, I'm just using, like, let's say Polytech," and then they say, "Oh, they have hundreds of colors," but that's not what we're looking at. You know what I mean?
That's
because
right.
we're just trying to understand what you need,
Yeah.
and give you few options. You know,
I mean,
you're
I
not
think,
looking at everything.
like you said with the Pinterest, you know, you can change your mind every day,
Yes.
right? There's a new product coming out every day. There's a nice new colour. There's a nice whatever, right? You could, and this is what I say to clients, you can change your mind every single day, but at some point you have to make a decision.
Yes.
Yeah,
Exactly.
that's right.
Okay. So how do you make that decision? I always say to people, stick with what you love, because if you love this tile, you will always love it.
Yeah.
Yep.
If you don't love that tile, if it's say it's a trend, right? Say green's a big trend at the moment. If they love this particular green tile, when that trend is no longer a trend, they will still love it. But if they're only choosing that green tile because it's trendy and that's still in the magazines and Pinterest and whatever, then when that trend finishes, you might hate this tile and you are stuck with that tile.
Yes.
It's not a pillow that you can change.
Can I give you one example? You may have seen this a lot. So there's a huge trend right now with that slats of finger pull handles. Like
Yes,
they
the finger
just
pull.
makes
They're
not
integrated in the
finger pull, like
cabinetry.
they just slats on the cabinet.
In the cab, like routed.
No, it's just that's like
Thin.
rails.
Yeah.
So on the top, and people use as a finger pull, and they also on the sides. It's like Scandinavian style.
Yes,
right? I've been seeing this like for over 2 years, and now it's becoming popular here. this is one of the trends that, in my opinion, this is going to go away soon. Let's say 1 year. And then people are going to look at their kitchen and it'll be like, oh, what's this? Because they're just trying to achieve the look of it and not the actual functionality. In Scandinavia, they use that with a real timber that's got a rebate on it. So you can literally grab it. But people are using that with Polytech. Polytech doesn't have that thing.
Not only like melamine.
Yeah, melamine.
Yeah.
And what we end up doing is like we can get the visual, but with the way you open it, it's not that
functional.
simple. It's not functional.
Yeah.
And you're getting the look, okay, it looks amazing. But within like a year or two, you're going to be like looking at that kitchen that's outdated now, because now, let's say, the trend now is going to be flat.
Yeah.
So now your kitchen is outdated and not functional.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
look, this is where I say to people, if you love that look, that's fine.
Yeah.
Because when it goes out, then hopefully you'll still love it.
Still love it, yeah.
But, I'm a bit of a handles fan myself, so I like people to actually feel the handle.
Yes.
And if they can go to the showroom and literally feel how it will be to open that cupboard all the time.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. We like to
That makes sense.
to
I mean,
have
it really
clients
does make a
touching.
difference.
Yes,
Those pull
it does.
handles, there's some nice ones and there's some cheap ones.
Yeah.
And the cheap ones are quite sharp on the edge, for example.
Yeah.
So you really need to do a bit of research to feel it and touch it and pull it before you want to have it in your...
Yeah.
And people might say, oh, you can change your handle. It's not that easy sometimes, depending on where the handle is, because the sizes
Position,
change.
size,
You got a hole in your cabinet.
Yeah.
How do you fill that up?
One tip that I would give with handles is there's certain sizes that are standard, but there are brands out there, they for some reason, they decided to make the drilling pattern different.
Completely.
So it's normally like 32,
okay.
64, 128, 224, 192, and
On
and
it
on.
goes, yeah.
Yeah.
This is the standard. But some brands, they want to be different. So they go and say, oh, no, my drilling will be like 100 mil. And then
Right.
if you in the future decide to, oh, you know what, I think I'll just change the handle. It makes a huge difference when you change just the handle. But then you're going to have to
Can't
stick
find-
to that brand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they may not have the handle
Might
you
be
like.
outdated.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Discontinued.
yeah, just use something that it's got a 32,
Standard. Yeah.
3264. So that way, if you decide, oh, you know what, I think this round, it's no longer what I really enjoy. I want
Yeah.
a little bit more square now. Then you can do it.
change
It's
it.
not a big deal.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Again, I try and get people to find something that they love so that they don't have to then change
oh
it.
yeah, that's the
Yes,
deal.
exactly.
That's the best
Yes,
option.
That's the
Yeah,
best option.
that's the
yeah.
best option,
Yeah.
100%.
Agree. Now let's move on to the next topic: designing for commercial spaces. How does designing a commercial space differ from designing a home?
Okay, so it's usually a lot faster pace. We talk about budget. Clients that have a commercial space and have a fit out usually have a budget. So they already know what they can achieve generally. They may not know what they can achieve with that money, but at least they've got a budget. So we stick with that. It's fast paced. And really, I try and align it with their business goals. For example, they might want, an open working space, or they might want offices, quiet spaces, or breakout spaces. So really, the company and what they're trying to achieve really is what we focus on.
Okay.
So that's the difference. Really, it's not so personal.
Yes, that's what I was gonna say. We don't do much commercial, and when we do
that's why I
commercial, we don't
don't-
do the design.
Yeah,
But
that's
it's
why I
less
don't get
emotion involved.
Yeah,
much in this.
yeah.
Like I just love what I do, and residential is much more, it involves much more passion, and I'm very into it. And that's why commercial jobs is all about like, oh, how much this is going to cost? This is what you do, and that's it. So for me, it doesn't really get much of a personal involvement.
Yeah.
And with private clients, we have this connection. We have this passion that needs to be on the detail.
It's like their dreams.
Yeah.
That's been dreaming
Yeah.
for to have this kitchen for a long
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And then-
It's different. It's different.
Like
And,
I did. We done a couple of
Commercial projects.
commercial project, and I remember one of them that we did was a kebab shop. It was very nice, very nice kebab shop, and the builder gave me, like, he said to me to cut on a certain size to be the overheads because the site was not ready yet. So then when they end up doing their part, then they mismeasured, or I don't know what happened. Then the height of the cabinet ended up being 200 mil shorter, and there was a 2-pack shaker, so this couldn't be change it.
Be
Obviously,
done,
it was
yeah.
not on me, and the builder said, "Well, just cut it, and just make like it smaller, and then like you cut the shaker." And cut another piece from the shaker, so you would take 2 pieces of the shaker from the middle, and then just join to the other one. And I said, well, that's gonna look odd. And he said, well, that's all right. Like they will be fine with that. And I said, okay, I'll do that, but I'll just do that in a way that looks to be on purpose. So I end up doing like a sort of fixed bulkhead thing, and then the other part was a door. So it looks better, but it's not as it should. And they just, the client was happy with that. And for me, it's like, oh, well, that's not really
But
what I
then
like
again, there's
doing.
commercial and commercial. This one, there's shops and cafes and there are
shops
offices.
and
There are
cafes.
Well,
different
that's it.
spaces
Yeah.
as well. Yeah.
I mean, I deal mostly with office fit outs. So, for example, some people do have little kitchenettes. And you say little kitchenettes, but sometimes they're actually not. They'll say kitchenette, but it can still be just as big as a residential kitchen. So I still enjoy doing those because, like I said, you've got your budget, you know what you're looking for. So, I'm still hoping that when I do get kitchenettes and stuff that you'll still help.
Yeah, absolutely.
I definitely help, but it's something that I'm not just passionate
That you're actually,
about.
No, I get
it's
it.
not a thing that I'm going to be focusing on, you know what I mean? Like, for example, this, we had the same guy who gave me this shop, he's got another 2 clients that he wants another 2 shops. And I said, oh, yeah, I'll think about it because I'm not sure if I want to do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, fair enough. And look, a lot of people say to me, maybe I need to niche in one or the other, but I like having both because obviously residential clients are very passionate. And I'm not saying that commercial clients aren't passionate because the people that I deal with are passionate and but it's different.
It's different.
We have a lot of opinions in the commercial space because the staff sometimes get involved. But it's still, in terms of the cabinetry, it's still the same.
Yes, exactly.
It still looks a lot
office
nicer when you're
spaces.
done and that kind of stuff. But anyway, I like doing both because they are different. It's just, because you got a bit of both, so it's good.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's the most important design element for a productive and inspiring office space?
For me, the key thing is flexibility because I just think that nowadays things just seem to be you have to be fluid, right? Everyone's got to be fluid and be able to move direction and stuff like that. And I think businesses generally have to be as well. So I think if the space can be flexible, I think that then covers a lot of bases. So having an open workspace where people can just come and obviously sit, breakout spaces where they can chill out or even have a little meeting, little small offices for them to work in if they need to obviously be locked away and focus on some, focus work. And also just small, quiet rooms that they can have meetings in or something like that. So just to have different options, I think is the way to go.
Okay, interesting. And what's a common mistake businesses make with their fit outs?
The biggest problem, which this could actually be commercial and residential, is I don't feel that people spend enough time in the design space. They think, right, we're ready to go. They want the builder. Let's just get going. And the important thing is getting the design right. Because if you get the design right, then you don't have to go back and change things later, which costs them a lot of money. So I think they just try to rush that, and that bit really is, I think, the critical stage. Yep. The design concept is critical. So floor plans and that can be for residential as well, right? So that design part is critical so that you can get, so then everything just flows from there. If you get that right from the start, then everything else just flows correctly. And I don't feel like people spend enough time in that space.
Don't give the importance.
Don't give enough time. They just think we're going to, and permits. They think I think people forget, but permits can take quite
forever,
a long time. And that's, you can do that whilst you're actually doing the design. So you can actually work them together so that when you do get the permit, you're ready to go.
True.
Yeah.
And what's your favorite type of commercial project to work on and why, especially in the human's health space?
Well, I like working with women's health organisations, mainly because, I don't know, I feel like creating spaces for organisations with a lot of women, I don't know, just gives them more importance in the workplace. I like to make it a warm and safe place for them to work, to come and spend their time. I like to use, soft colours and natural light and just give a lot of thought to the layout for them to come and feel. I mean, obviously there's a lot of things going on for women sometimes at home. They're very busy. They've got lots of... So it's just nice to be able to give them a space to come to that they come to work at that they love.
A special touch.
Yeah. So I think offices of old times when I was a lot younger are a lot different to now.
Yeah.
They were very clinical almost, whereas now it needs to be a home away from home.
Yes.
Because otherwise people don't come in anymore.
Needs to be fun, needs to feel welcoming.
Yeah. And I love being able to empower women in their space.
Exactly. Agree.
So it's a fun space to be in.
Now let's move into some real talk and behind the scenes question. What's something people often misunderstand about what you do?
I think it's easy. We have a lot of clients that when you say, it's going to take 3 days to install a kitchen, and they think, all of that, Lois, I thought you would install in a day. And so people think maybe because of the world that we are living with, like McDonald's and
TV shows, renovation TV shows, everything is done super quick. Amazing.
So now ChatGPT, people can ask anything and get their answer in time, like as we've never seen before. So and people think that when you are building something, they forget the humans that are working. So
and it's not mass production. It is custom.
That's the thing.
So
that's
it
why
takes
I
time.
think they misunderstand. Like they can go to IKEA and get a bunch of cabinets in a box, and like getting someone to really, manufacture it.
Think about the details,
and put it together and carry in the truck and take to the site and then install it. Like obviously when you have a human involved and all of this that I just mentioned, like people come, like I had a client that was looking at the finishing with a torch. You can't, so people think that you are a computer and then you're just going to render the cabinetry inside their home. So a lot of people misjudge us a lot in this regard. I think this is this is one, and we've been trying to educate people, just explain to them, look, we're going to get on site, although the cabinet is being put it together in the factory as we do, and to make sure everything fits, like, sink, branch hoods.
And the walls won't be like...
And, and obviously when you get on site, then the walls are crooked or, out of level and all of that. And then we have the cabinets which are square, obviously, but then like everything else needs to be fit in. So the boys need to actually take the panels outside, plane it, and you know what I mean? So it's all of this work involved that a lot a lot of people, they don't really
realize.
understand.
Yeah.
And I think you're right. They don't understand that. And I think that the difference between, I think, people think, custom made, it's going to be a lot more expensive. It might be more expensive, but it absolutely is worth the extra expense.
Yes.
You
Agree.
get a flat pack thing that you put in your kitchen. They will be square and they will not fit into the area properly, and you will have to have filler panels, God knows where. And it's less effective. It won't last as long. You'll probably not like it as much because the finish won't be as nice.
Yes.
Because that's why it's cheaper.
Layout won't be the same because you can't choose
Everything.
much,
You
so
will not.
It's limited.
It's just not there. There's a reason why it's custom,
Exactly.
and generally when it's custom, it's made for you.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's going to work for you over a long period of time.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's a time of as I said, like there's human beings involved, so we may have an issue carrying the board, and then we end up having a scratch. And people, a lot of the times, they don't think like humans, because they think, well, that's going to delay now. Well, yeah, it's going to delay today. We can't fit it in because this happened. You know what I mean? Like, this is obviously something that we try as much as we can to avoid. But at the end, people need to understand that human beings working, and they may cut a wrong panel on site. So
it's client expectations,
Yes.
isn't it?
Yes.
And I think that's a big thing.
Yeah,
I quite often say to people, things will go wrong.
Oh, yeah.
That is inevitable.
That's
and it's how we deal with it.
that's which makes
the difference.
Exactly.
Correct.
So
Yes.
you're right.
I
Human
think this
involvement they
this is
forget
something
about that.
It's very important to, like, we try to mention that to people, like when they come to the installation or to the factory.
Yeah.
Because that end up being a big difference to work as well.
What makes a dream client? That's an interesting one.
I would say good communication, definitely. Realistic expectations.
Yes.
And that's obviously us trying to help them establish what a realistic timeline is, and not that you can put in the kitchen in a day. And also realistic expectations in terms of budget.
Yes.
We've talked about that before, but just having a realistic budget.
Yeah, I would say the same thing. It's just a human expectation, and the budget, like a real
And trust. Trust your work.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. I mean, we're professionals. You need to trust what we're doing.
If you were choosing us, there's a reason. And trust us.
Yes.
Yeah. And I know you guys, and I know me, and I do it because I love it.
Absolutely.
And I treat every job like it's mine.
Same.
If it's my house, if this was
Exactly
my
the
house,
same.
what would I do?
Yeah.
If this was where I work, what would I do?
Yeah.
And I think that makes a big difference.
Oh, yes. Normally I go to the factory because I'm in the office and I'm going to see clients, and then once in a while I'll go in the factory and have a look and like, guys, you need to change this. This doesn't look good. And oh, we didn't finish yet. Like, okay, I'm watching you. How do you define success in a project? What makes you walk away feeling proud?
If we get everything done on my standard, so
You have really high
like
standards.
if the so the client they would be happy if you deliver what you discussed, and like a lot of time like what is on the design. But for me, it comes to the detail, like that the client a lot of the time they won't see it, but I do. Sometimes we had a lot of happy clients that I knew that a little thing that could have been done a bit better, but it's something that a professional wouldn't know, and I do. So what makes me feel really happy when I finish a job is when I hit my expectation, my own expectation. And obviously if I hit my own expectation, I believe the client it will be less picky than I am. So I'm sure they will be happy.
Good.
Well, I define success of a project is when the clients are happy.
Yes.
When I see the end, when I think about where we started and I see the end result, and the client's really happy.
You can see in their faces.
Yeah, I think that's my favourite part when you can see them in the space and they love it. Because quite often I think for us we know how it's going to look at the end, but they don't. They're relying on us.
Yeah.
So when you see them actually go, oh wow, then that's gold.
That's amazing.
It's all worth it. Yep.
I agree, 100%.
It is gold.
Yeah. Amazing. So thank you for listening. You can find details of our guests in the podcast description, and RenovAction's website is renovaction.com.au. Sharon's website is sharonlynch.com.au. Thank you.